What's going on, everybody? Will here again, Fire and Steel Barbecue. Thanks for stopping in. Doing a little bit of a cook today, but actually doing a kind of okay size cook. 2 pork butts and 2 racks of spare ribs. Using my insulated cabinet today, and I'm not really going to cook or talk much about the cook itself, but more about the cabinet. You know, I see on the internet bunch of people with a bunch of different types of smokers out there. You know, and every now and again you run into one you're not real familiar with. So I've had a few people ask me, what in the hell is that damn cabinet? But anyway, quick tour of my other smokers. This is the beast right here. This is you know, an offset smoker. It's about 100 gallons. It's 24 by 54. I like it. This is a really good pit if you're in the mood for drinking beer with the fellas and, you know, having a good time throwing wood into the fire. Another one you're real familiar with is you know, the ugly drum, or I like to refer as the pit barrel as the pretty drum, just because, you know, it costs a couple bucks. It's all set up, you know, everything's well thought out, and you don't really have to do much to it. The ugly drums is more of a DIY kind of deal. And then you know, I've got the propane grill over there that sees some action every now and again, but everybody's used to those grills, or smokers, grills, whatever the heck you want to call them. But what you don't see a lot of are what you see behind me, this insulated vertical cabinet. So what is it? How does it work? Why is it good or bad or anything? So there's a bunch of people that have done a bunch of research on it, and this is from Lonestar Grillz, and they sell a lot of these. But you know, they're not the Weber kettle. You know, everybody knows what a Weber kettle is. Everybody's seen one, everybody's touched one, everybody's owned one. This is probably not one you've run into or seen or anything, but how does it work? Quick look down here. You've got 2 chambers. I'm not going to open it quite this second, but you've got 2 chambers. The bottom chamber here is a firebox. There's, you know, that's where you put, you know, you can run this strictly on charcoal. Charcoal is the main power fuel source. Add wood chunks or wood splits for flavor. That's how that works. The top part of the cabinet is the cook chamber. That's got 7 racks in it, and they're wide enough to hold 2 full-size hotel pans. So if you could put anything in a hotel pan, you could put it on there. They're stainless steel, you know, real cooking grates, you know, food quality. So you can, you know, in this smoker right here, I could probably get about 5 to 6 racks of spare ribs per. Got 7 racks. I mean, we're talking 35, 40 racks of ribs. You know, we're talking 500 gallon smoker capacity, and in this footprint. That's why it's really attractive to a lot of people. So as with an offset, everybody knows how an offset works. It's a really high flow. You know, you get a lot of air through there. It's a lot of convection. The fire is going, you know, as fast as you can let it. So there's a lot of smoke that goes through there. This is the opposite. Quick peek on the back end. I've got inside at the bottom of the main chamber is a water pan. I don't use water in here. Most people don't. A lot of people don't anyway. But if you wanted to drain this is the ball valve to drain this. To actually get combustion from your charcoal, use this bottom valve, and you can open it, close or open. You'll notice this one's completely closed. This one is almost completely closed. I've got a fireboard on this, and I set the temperature and I tell it what to go to, and it'll keep it there just as rock steady as your oven. So basically the bottom valve is an air intake, and on the top you've got your vent. That's where everything comes out. This right here, if you are running water, you can just walk up and pour water into there, and it's got a chamber that goes right into the water pan down there. So it's pretty well thought out. These you know, if you're taking it places, you know, it's got some tie downs. If you look on the bottom, there's a pretty good sized tie down. So you know, if it's on your trailer, that's a good way to secure it. Along with these, so these guys aren't standard. You got to order these. Like the table isn't standard either. It's a little dusty right now. Sorry about that. The wheels are not standard either. They've got like 8-inch casters and another size caster. The thing about this is it weighs about 1,400 pounds. I'm not the smallest guy in the world, but you try to move 1,400 pounds. That's a lot of weight. With these tires on here, it moves pretty effortlessly. So I've got a little magnetic hook on here, so you can, you know, you want to move it around, just lean into it and it goes. You know, if you want to pull it, it goes. So what is convection I was talking about a moment ago with the way, if you'll notice, the ball valve is barely open on the bottom there. The top I like to run a little bit more open, but Chris says you should probably match them. I find I have better results with the top vent being a little bit more open, and I'll tell you why here in a second. With really low airflow, you get a really small amount of convection. So what that means is that the chamber is going to maintain a little bit more moisture. Food tends to cook a little bit faster in here. That's one of the reasons I don't use water in there. Don't really feel there's a need. I haven't used water. I said anyway. I probably should at some point, but everything comes out really great. With your offset, if you're running with the stack all the way open, if you'll notice, if you shut the stack halfway, it'll heat up inside. It'll cause a little bit of back pressure. That's how this thing works full time. With that, you've got the benefit of food cooking a little bit faster. You've got the benefit of a little bit more moisture in the chamber. But what you lose is the benefits of the convection that, like a smoke ring, for example, is the telltale sign of an offset. There's a nice thick smoke ring on there. You can tell it's been on there. This guy is a little bit more difficult to get a smoke ring on. I'm working on that, and the food has always come out wonderful. Like if probably as good, sometimes better as the offset. It's definitely on the same level. But I think the offset has that traditional look a little bit more. But I think I'm dialing in how to get smoke rings on here. Somebody asked me, like, if a smoke ring's so important to you, why'd you get this? Well, you know, that wasn't the most important thing to me. Capacity, convenience. When I do briskets, I'll go throw 3 briskets in here 10 p.m. at night, set it for 2:25, and I'll see you in the morning. And they're about time to wrap. It's super easy. It's as easy as a pellet grill, but you know, you've got a little bit more fire in there, and you don't have the electronics to get in your way. That's the problem I have with I had a pellet grill, and the board kept going out, and it was just not reliable. So this one, I've got a fireboard on there. It is electronics, but it's not going to get in the way of me cooking. If you'll notice, the fan's not even on. Actually, if you'll notice, you can't even tell this thing's running. Except if you look, it's running at 250. You know, you can't see any smoke coming out of it. It's real clean. You know, I'm not going to say it's cool to the touch, but you know, it's going to be hotter here. The fire's right here, but if you'll notice, I'm not gonna hurt myself, you know, walking into a smoker. So anyway, just thought I'd give a little bit of a tour of this. I guess I should probably open it up and show you what's going on in there. So the key things here are firebox on the bottom, cooking chamber up top, really low convection. I like to keep the top open a little bit more because that gives me a little bit more convection. Chris, you know, the owner of Lonestar Grillz, recommends similar to how you'd load an ugly drum with a bunch of charcoal and you put a few chunks of oak or hickory in there. I've just been putting a couple of splits in there, and I'll show you that here after I'm done talking. And that seems to burn a little quicker, so I put it in early before it gets up to temp. When it's real smoky, I'll put it in there. I'll get a lot of smoke flavor, and I keep the top open, and I'll get more convection. So along with the smoke and a little bit more convection, my smoke ring's been doing pretty good. But anyway, let's take a quick look inside. As you can see, we're running 250. Here's my pit temperature is at 252. You know, you can't. What's the other one at? Here's those damn buttons. My pork shoulder is at 192.7. So they're going to be coming off soon. So inside the chamber is, as you can see, I've got 4 grates. You've got your tell truth thermometer here, so that's why there's not an extra one right here. So seven slots for grates, so I can move these around. I like to pork shoulders. I'll put in there. Today I cooked a couple of racks of ribs. I'll put one here, and a hotel pan underneath each one, so I don't really have to worry about stuff dripping. I can just take this out, get a little scraper and scrape that clean if I want. It's a real simple design, and it seems to work. Look at those pork shoulders, they're looking pretty good. And with the added moisture in there, I don't really have to wrap them. Slam locks, so those things are pretty great. I think mine needs to be adjusted a little bit. You'll notice if I slam it, it doesn't work, but if I just push it, it works just fine. So that's good. So let's open this up. I don't want to mess my probes up here. But the firebox, so what I've got going on in here is on the bottom tray is the ash collector, and the top is the basket. So the ash, so this is all one piece, and this is just a cutout tray. So I could pull this out and empty the ashtray, or you could pull the entire thing out and check your coals. So you'll see I've got a split over here, a split over here, and I use fire brick in there to keep it going. I'm going to shut this up because I don't want to mess with the chamber too much. Being this thing, it's insulated. It's air gapped with insulation between the walls. So with all that being open, you know, I had it open for a little while. It's already back at 250. It'll come right back up. The downside to that is it takes over an hour to get up to temperature. With my new smoke ring tactic, I'm trying to get smoke in there a little bit earlier, so I've been putting meat on before it's up when there's a lot of smoke. So there's that. Look at that, it's already at 220 almost, 215, 220, and that was just open. But anyway, thanks for listening to me ramble. Thought I'd explain what the heck this insulated vertical cabinet is all about, and I don't know, show you what the cook looks like after this real quick. Take care, dry friendly.